Okay, welcome everybody to this week's video. In this week we're going to draw a part using the revolve and the extrude. So we're going to go to File, going to go to New, click on Part and click on OK. Now we're going to start with the extrude and then continue on with the revolve. You can also start from the revolve and then continue on to the extrude. Choice is up to you. In this case I choose to start with the extrude because that's my preferred method. Now we're going to go to the top view and create a sketch. Now I'm going to start with the center circle, which is 50 millimeters in diameter. And the top flange consists out of 3 separate circles, 2 smaller ones and 1 bigger one in the middle. Now I'm going to draw half and then mirror everything again. And I'm going to go over the options a little bit quicker than in previous videos to speed up the videos every single time, because you should be getting more used to all the options and all the functions I'm using as you go along. So the first circle I'm going to draw is going to be 90 millimeters in diameter, and I'm going to make it 90 because the radius is 45, but I'm not able to enter the radius of 45 at this second. So I'm going to start with a couple of circles, then I'm going to connect them and trim away the rest. You can also draw lines and then add tangent lines, but it takes a lot more time, so this method is a lot quicker. So I'm going to draw another circle here, which is a lot smaller, and the radius of this circle is 25, so the diameter should be 50. And the distance from the center circles as given in the picture is 34. Now as you can see they overlap a lot, so now I can connect them using lines. And then I'm going to add a tangent relation by selecting both items using Ctrl and selecting tangent. Now then, using the trim tool again, which we did before, we can remove all the edges which we don't want. And then we can add a mirror line. Maybe trim out the rest as well. It's probably better. Then we're going to add the indentation on the side, a little slot. Once again, going to add symmetry for that. And we're going to add the end-to-end dimension, which should be 78. And then we're going to use the trim tool again to trim away the rest. Now that we have the pattern, we're going to mirror it across this line. We can pretty much select everything. Click OK. And then we can go to Features and to Extrude. Extrude it downward with a thickness of 15 millimeters. Okay, now that we're done with the top part, we're going to continue making the rest using one revolve, and then we're going to add the holes with a cut extrude. So, looking through all the planes, I can either use the right plane to make the revolve on the front plane. For this case I'm going to use the front plane. I'm going to click on revolve, I'm going to select my normal 2 view, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this view transparent. And the reason for this is I want to see the lines of the edge of the center hole. So I'm going to select the transparent option, and you can see this line here, which is the edge of this hole. And I want to use this point to connect the rest of the revolve sketch to. So again, let's go to normal 2. It doesn't seem to work for now, so we'll just switch views. That always works. Now we're going to start again using center line, because we're going to make a revolve, so we'll always start using a center line. And the center line is going to have the height dimension, which is 70. Then we're just going to crudely draw in the rest of the part, and as you can see, here's that dotted line again. It's very faint, but it's still there. You can connect it Let's see, first we need to go left, down. Okay, so once again, this is drawn very crudely. Now we can just add some dimensions, and then the part should come together. Now, as you can see, we've added some dimensions. We can still shift everything around. So let's move it up a little bit. And let's connect the bottom edge to this bottom point, because this line defines the height of the entire part. So if you connect this line to this point using a relation, the bottom end is fixed. Only this part is still loose. We can still move this around, but if you look closely in the drawing, you can see that it should be perpendicular to this line. So both lines should be in line with each other. Sorry, so perpendicular, that should be the collinear option. Then you can click OK, and then this is fully defined. Now we still need to close the part, so never forget closing a part when making a revolve. And now we could already revolve the part and then add fillets, or we can add the fillets later. Now I'm going to add the fillets later. Reason for that being, I cannot add a fillet here at this moment. So first I'm going to make the revolve, and then I'm going to add the fillet. Click on OK, because it spins 360 degrees around the axis. And now I can add the fillets. So go to the fillet option, so it should be 5 millimeters over here. Then add another fillet, 2 millimeters at the bottom, which are here and here. And just click OK. Now if you go to the top again, to a view toolbar, we could change the appearance back to the normal appearance view. And now the only thing we need to do is add the whole pattern. So we're going to click on this face, we're going to make an extruded cut, and we're going to go to the top view again. Now all 4 holes are in this case in 4 corner points. So I cannot really see the holes, but that's what I'm assuming, because I don't have any extra views. If this is the case, if you cannot see the whole pattern exactly, for these examples it doesn't really matter, as long as you're able to add a whole pattern using either a complicated sketch or a circular pattern, then that's fine. So for now I'm going to say that there are 4 holes. They're all square and they lie on a circle with a distance of 125 millimeters, which is shown by the STC125 dimension, which is added from center to the other center of the other circle on the opposite side. So I'm going to draw a square, and I'm going to make this square out of construction lines. Construction lines and center lines are essentially the same thing. By clicking on this button, my sketch will directly change to center lines. Then we're going to add another circle, and we're going to make sure the circle is attached to the corner points of the square. And once again I'm going to select for construction again to make sure this circle is created out of center lines. You can always do that by clicking on a line and activating this tick box here on the left. So you always have that possibility. Now that's connected, they'll both change together. Now I'm going to say I want my square, or my rectangle I should say, to be square. So I'm going to select this line, hold down Ctrl, select the other one, and select the equal relation. So now if I change the dimension, I always have 4 corner points. And if I now add the holes on those corner points, they will always lie exactly in front of each other in a perfect square pattern, which is what I want. So now I'm going to add a dimension to the circle, which should be 125. And then I'm simply going to add 4 circles on the corner points. I'm going to select them all using Ctrl to make sure they're all equal. So I only have to add one other dimension, which should be 18. Now I can exit the sketch. It immediately continues to the cut extrude feature. Since on beforehand I said I wanted to make a cut extrude, I will select through all, click on OK, and then that's done. And then the part's finished. So now you've created the part using both the extrude and the revolve feature. Try doing the other 3 parts on your own. You'll be using the extrude feature there as well. It's also possible to make a revolved cut. So we can, like we have an extrude and a cut extrude, we also have a revolve boss base and a revolve cut here. The function does exactly the same, or instead of adding material, it removes the material you've sketched out. That's basically all it does. So you can also use the revolved cut option when creating those parts. Once again, if you run into any problems, please contact your teacher, and I'll see you again during the next lesson.